We will wait for 2 more minutes and then we will start with the studio.
ये थोड़ा ब्रेक लेते हैं ना.
पार्थ, तुझा माइक ऑफ कर. Vindhya, I think you should start.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Vindhya from third here, hosting today's 3 o'clock studio. We welcome Sudhna ma'am, all the faculties, and our batchmates. Today, we all have gathered here to discuss and showcase some of the best portfolios from the previous semester. We all get a great chance to look into everyone's work and to learn and take motivation back to our daily lives. So in today's 3 o'clock studio, we have Janvi Joshi, Anjali Gund and Sahil Ahmed from 5th year pass outs and their topic as Rethinking Office Space. Raut Ahmed from 4th year showcasing his portfolio on the topic Government School and Swati Singh and Anirudh Sharma from 3rd year presenting their portfolio on the topic Museum and Ancillary Spaces. Since Janvi Joshi, Anjali Gun, and Sahil Ahmed are busy, we will start presenting.
Hello everyone. The project Green Matrix represents our interpretation of the topic Rethinking Office Spaces in Changing Times. The collage gives a glimpse of the major focal elements and materials used in the project.
In order to have a site-responsive design, several factors were taken into consideration, such as high noise levels from the roads, access to the site from only one direction, mixed-use neighborhood, the existence of vegetation on site, particularly large banyan trees, and nearby natural physical features, that is, the Thane Airoli Creek and Parsik Hill, which significantly affects the site's microclimate. The question we asked ourselves was, what it is beautifully full of trees, centrally located. And our entire thrust of the project then became how to place a building which can fulfill all the requirements, and the site still flows in as it is, still maintains its characters. So the courtyard automatically accepts that existing condition.
Sorry for the inconvenience. Vindhya, would you like to restart it again?
Yes, just a second.
Yeah, play the clip again.
Everyone, the project Green Matrix represents our interpretation of the topic Rethinking Office Spaces in Changing Times. The collage gives a glimpse of the major focal elements and materials used in the project.
In order to have a site-responsive design, several factors were taken into consideration, such as high noise levels from the roads, access to the site from only one direction, mixed-use neighborhood, the existence of vegetation on site, particularly large banyan trees, and nearby natural physical features, that is, the Thane Airoli Creek and Parsik Hill, which significantly affects the site's microclimate. The question we asked ourselves was, what was the strength of the site? It is beautifully full of trees, centrally located. And our entire thrust of the project then became how to place a building which can fulfill all the requirements, and the site still flows in as it is, still maintains its characters. So the courtyard automatically accepts that existing condition, and the building is a celebration of where it sits. As green spaces are becoming scarce for city dwellers, the introduction of green in the workplace has an immediate impact on the user psyche and behavior. The form evolution starts from a simple cuboid offsetting the site, with the introduction of a linear central courtyard and angular openings to allow the optimum utilization of natural light and ventilation. The edge of the inner courtyard takes an organic form to make room for existing trees on site. Double height breakout spaces introduced in both the blocks for creating comfort and breathing space on the upper level. Thus, the product is the combination of straight brutal exterior and engaging organic inner zones with fenestrations that give a peek of the green sanctuary. The images showing the brutal facade as a response to the context and the internal facade as a response to the site's character, with the organic courtyard that gives hierarchy to the spaces. Instead of the usual lower to higher public to private zoning, the vertical zoning is done in such a manner that the office spaces are sandwiched between amenity spaces. The east and the west block mirror each other's zoning. Except for restaurant and hotel, all other amenities are on the third and the sixth level, which makes it easily accessible for all office space users. The front block on ground floor is divided into two parts by the water body. The left side functions as reception and meeting for office space, while the right serves as the hotel and restaurant lobby. The co-working suites amidst the green covers add a unique identity to the project. The 4 main service cores and 6 fire escapes are located on the outer edges, with a central circular staircase located by the edge of the courtyard. Upon entering the site premise, one encounters the water body, which experience continues into the build. For the user, the water body establishes a connect between the inside and the outside. The high-end co-working module on the ground floor is of two types. These types are based on its construction detail, while the first typology is a standalone with central load-carrying column. The second typology sits above the basement. Hence, it supports itself on the structural columns of the main structure. The first floor has both co-working and corporate office spaces, which are divided by the breakout spaces. The co-working office space is divided into focus, collaborate, learn, and socialize zones. Each office space has a central gathering space surrounded by different types of work zones. Certain corporate offices require larger areas. Hence, a first floor and a second floor unit can function together as one office space. Third floor has refuse space, gym, and retail store. Providing a gym encourages a healthier lifestyle for the office workers. The retail store gives easy access to office supplies and other necessities which are not easily available in the vicinity. This floor has medium-sized offices in the west block, while one small and one large office in the east block. The breakout space in between serves as a relaxing area. Each breakout is dedicated to one indoor sport, which makes the space more engaging by encouraging people from different offices to interact. As breakout spaces are double height, the offices on this floor do not have direct access to them, but they are visually connected. The lower and the upper sixth floor includes the exhibition center, library, conference hall, food court, and daycare. Its vertically central location makes it easily accessible for all user groups. Food court is divided into two levels to segregate user flow during rush hours. This project has two types of co-working spaces. The suite on the ground floor, which will be rented by one startup or firm, and the other type is a shared office space, as seen on this floor. The service floor is provided to connect the service ducts on the upper and the lower story. As an optional amenity, we decided to provide a hotel that would cater to the commercial district around. Hotel was selected as a lot of office spaces regularly tend to receive people from outstation. Hotel was allocated to the top floor as it made it easier to segregate and maintain privacy for this space. Basement parking has two levels, which includes over 500 car and more than 200 two-wheeler parking space. Services such as STP, rainwater storage, and UGT are provided on the second level. This section cuts through the service cores and lobby space. The section highlights upon the outer straight rigid form and the staggering inner corridors lining every floor. These details show how greens are included into the interior space. The green patches become the focus of the double height space. The central circular staircase and the staggering of breakout spaces on different levels can be seen here. The double height spaces and through fenestrations blur the boundaries between the inside and the outside. The east and the west blocks are connected with bridges. Bridges act as an informal space. The details here depicts the experience of a user walking on the lower level bridges amidst the foliage of large banyan trees. Mangalore tiles are used in the outer layer of the double skin facade. The use of terracotta in hot and humid climate provides thermal comfort by moderating the internal temperatures as per external climate. The earthly tones of terracotta facade highlights the structure in an otherwise RCC and glass construction context. The section shows the joinery of the movable facade to the steel-built frame.
Wow, this is something really amazing. I'm sure everyone did learn something out of it. If anyone has any doubts, we would like them to personally contact, as all of these participants are busy and not attended. Moving on, Rao, can we see your project?
Hello and good afternoon. My name is Rao and today I will be explaining my semester 6 project Shikshan Shala, a municipal school near the Gulbai Tekra slum areas of Hollywood Basti, Ahmedabad. Out of the 28,000 square meter area of the Gulbai slums, our site comprises of 7,360 square meter. These are the existing trees on the site and the sun and wind directions. In the vicinity, there are commercial complexes, residential buildings, the slums, government owned grounds, and the dorms of other residential areas. These are the site surroundings. In the initial stages of development, I identified a singular entrance from the south of the site and evolved a space recognition zoning based on the appropriate areas and the preferred proximity of the mentioned spaces, giving rise to a clear arrangement of three different spaces. Before starting the design process, I referred to two case studies, one of which is Bothas Holiday Primary School located in Cape Town, South Africa. This school, developed by Meyer and Associates, had three distinct functioning blocks, one of which had the kindergarten and primary classrooms, the private area, the second with workshops and assembly halls, the public area, and the third with administration and offices, the semi-private area. This was the zoning phase of the school, and this is the actual aerial view of the current standing structure. I also did a live case study of the government school operated in Dolkham, Shahpur, which gave me an estimation of the sizes of classrooms required and the arrangement of spaces. Following that, I established these three blocks, created punctures, and gave them hierarchy. Further, divided the blocks into spaces and gave each space a function along with a distinguished roof structure. And then finally developed the schools incorporating the facade, windows, and circulation spaces and forming the courtyards. Throughout the structure, I have tried to incorporate the following elements developed during the conceptual ideas. Coming to the site layout, I took into consideration the positions of various spaces and I placed them on the site based on their proximity to each other, importance, sun direction, roadways, and entrance. There is an 1800 square meter playground on the northeastern side of the site. These are the bicycle and vehicular pathways for entrance and exit from the site area, and the green area denotes courtyards and other green spaces on the site. This was inspired by an initial zoning based on sun direction and existing tree positions. This shows us the development on the site. This is the main entrance and exit from the site. That road leads to the bicycle pathway on the west side of the site. This is the pickup and drop porch area for school buses, and this is the bus and station park. This is the 1800 square meter playground, the administration area, the classroom area, the kindergarten area, and the canteen area. This is the ground floor plan of the structure. From here, students from the bicycle parking area can enter the school. There are two existing trees which have a small utla space created to develop an informal gathering space for the students standing in the porch area. There are 8 classrooms on the ground floor, each of 75 square meter, having the capacity of approximately 40 to 45 children. This is a small courtyard space with a staircase from both sides and an elevator to access the first floor. These are the 3 toilet areas on the site. Moving further to the studio area, this is a 180 square meter art studio with floor height windows on the western side, a sloped roof with opening in the valley for a huge tree which provides a seating space for the children and also allows sunlight and central ventilation. This is the library space for approximately 160 square meter, which covers an unobstructed view of the central courtyard for students to relax and read in peace. This is a 120 square meter multipurpose hall which is open to all. Also provides on the ground floor is a computer lab for the students. This is the central courtyard. 2 staircase blocks are provided to access the floor above. This is the main reception of the admin area and the storage space near the computer lab. On the eastern side, we have a canteen with 90 square meter indoor seating space and 100 square meter outdoor seating. The kitchen for provision of food. The kindergarten space with 4 classrooms each, equipped to contain approximately 20 to 30 children. This is the view from the main entrance of the site. The first floor consists of a science laboratory and 8 classrooms, a toilet area. This is the mezzanine floor on the library which can be accessed from the adjacent staircase. This is the admin area and the roof garden over the multipurpose hall. There is also an area for solar panels provided over the canteen. This is a view from the library of the main entrance to the porch area from the bicycle parking. For understanding the hierarchy of the spaces, We can look at the side sections cutting longitudinally and laterally through the site. This elevation highlights the western facade of the building. We can see the classroom block along with the upper corridor, the sloping roof of the art studio, and the floor height windows. This is a side section cutting through the longitudinal structure in south-north directions. Some interesting aspects include the following: the promenade leading to the semi-open reception area, the library, the classrooms, and the corridor near the classrooms. This side section cuts laterally through the site. Some aspects highlighted here are the multipurpose hall, the view of the entrance porch from parking, the elevational classroom view from the courtyard, and the indoors of a kindergarten classroom. The working of the school throughout the day can operate smoothly with transitioning spaces to avoid overcrowding and confusion. From 8:30 to 12:30, ground floor classrooms are occupied by 320 primary section children, 40 per classroom. After their departure, 480 secondary section students can occupy these classrooms and 4 on the upper floor till 5:30 pm. The art studio and library space are utilized simultaneously according to convenience. The 80 kindergarten children have separate uninterrupted 4 classrooms arrangement for 10 am to 4 pm. The canteen provides breakfast for primary students from 10 to 10:30, lunch for the secondary students from 2:30 to 3 pm, and for pre-primary students from 12:30 to 3 pm. The admin spaces are utilized throughout the day to ensure smooth running of the administration. The multipurpose hall and the roof garden and the playgrounds are available for outside public after school hours for events or seminars. The entrance stairway leads to the reception area from which the multipurpose hall, computer lab, staircase, and the toilets can be accessed. The multipurpose hall has 4 columns at the front supporting its roof and making a semi-open area for gathering people. The shared wall between the hall and the studio is collapsible and can be used to create a 260 square meter open floor for size gatherings and functions. This is an axonometric view of the same. The sections highlight the staircase and the elevator shaft with green facade on the east side. Through section BB, we can see the roof garden atop the hall and the sloping roof of the art studio with an opening for the tree in its valley region. The section CC explores the art studio further and explains the working of the mezzanine floor for the library. The elevation at D showcases the eastern facade of the studio club with green ferns adorning the staircase and the glass windows along with columnade for the library. The kindergarten block has a small porch area at the north for entrance. The toilets on the east are specifically designed for the children from ages 3 to 6. The eastern stairway leads to a small open space for the children to play and learn. The canteen seats 120 people indoors and approximately 100 plus in its outdoor seating area. A stairway has been provided at the north for people to come and sit and relax after a tiring game on the ground. This is an axonometric view of the canteen and kindergarten area, the section and elevation of the eastern facade of the same. The classroom area located on the northern side of the site is specifically designed to enhance the school-going experience for children and attract them towards free education. The design of the classroom has been explained further. This is an axonometric view of the classroom area. This is an enlarged plan of the classroom block. In the southern classroom, we can see the various arrangement of benches done to facilitate various activities. This is the first floor plan of the classroom block. The corridor here acts as a balcony for the structure and provides unhindered view of the playground on the northeast and the porch area on the west. These are the retail sections through the classroom area. Through the section HH, we can see the natural light entering the classroom spaces and the enlightening of the transitional spaces in the middle. Section II explains the courtyard space adorned with the trees in the middle for the 2 rows of classrooms. The elevation shows the brick facade, planter balconies, and the fluoride glass windows in the center of 2 classrooms. For the arrangement of classrooms, I initially struggled with many options which created negative spaces, reduced interaction, or took up too much space before I arrived at the current optimized classrooms. One classroom has morphed from an original rectangle into 2 different spaces, out of which the bigger 75 square meter indoor space includes storage, workshop or discussion area, teachers area, and primarily the student seating. This is an axonometric view of one classroom. These drawings help understand the importance and flexibility of the green space between 2 classrooms. Here we can also see various classroom arrangements suitable for discussion or 2 exams. The sliding glass door allows the open floor plan, useful for merging two classrooms during discussion, common lectures, or games. In conclusion, the school creates a flexible, easy access to all, nurturing environment to students and people of all age groups to help them grow and develop their own voice. Thank you for your time.
Great job. In fact, it will help all of our juniors also to look into what all they have to do and how exciting the path ahead is. Thank you, Rao. Does anyone have any doubts or does anyone want to ask anything? Okay, moving on. Next, I would like to present Swati and Anirudh's work. Let's see their work.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to showcase our presentation for Semfo AD Design project. But before that, we would like to convey our gratitude towards our guide Ajita ma'am, who helped and guided us throughout the process, and 3 O'Clock Studios for giving us this opportunity to present our design. Good morning, jurors. Today we are going to present a project named Levels of Expression. Location. Our site is located in Daulatabad, Maharashtra. Time and distance from certain landmarks have been shown to explain accessibility. Vehicular traffic with respect to different time intervals have been shown to display traffic density around the site. Topography of the site is relatively flat with less contours. Total area of the site is 3,520 square meters, situated on NH52, 90 kilometers away from Aurangabad. Vegetation analysis is done to depict the vegetation around the site. Medium height trees suitable in northeast areas to protect from summer winds can be applied, and use of fragrance trees to avoid odor from surrounding have also been proposed. Noise analysis depicts the approx radiation of sound from the neighboring context. To control this, effective use of trees can be adopted to absorb external noise. User analysis. Population density with respect to time shows the user population spread across certain time intervals, and peak hours were noted to be around 4 p.m. Staff user ratio explains the correlation of staff with respect to users according to the activities required in certain spaces. SWOT analysis. Strength. Strategic location of the site besides the main road increases its visibility to the passerby. Therefore, this is accessibility. Weaknesses. Major areas exposed to direct sunlight, thus making the site receive maximum amount of sun. Opportunities. To be an iconic building for the community where people are attracted to. Threat. Presence of some recreation spaces in the neighborhood context might affect the number of users and pose a threat to the museum in an economical way. Case study. This is a combined graphical representation of the two case studies, Olympic Archery and Hunarshala campus, which were included to relate to our design. In this, you can also see certain elements which are inculcated in our design through these case studies. Final zoning. Vehicular circulation was placed distant from the site to avoid noise disturbances. Spaces on a higher contour were given an experience of good views from the site. A separate viewpoint is provided on the northwest side of the site for the users to have a secluded area to enjoy views. Each activity was provided with its own space to maintain individuality. Concept. The concept revolves around the judicial use of levels and the utility of factors. The schematic model justifies the concept by explaining that the transition between spaces would bring the factor of flexibility and multifunctionality. And now every space should get its own importance with respect to specific activity to maintain individuality. Design development. It all started from taking an entry from longer side of the road, creating multiple social pockets, then aiming to create both informal and formal spaces for the users to experience. Then arrangement of blocks were done to achieve large open spaces with entrances, considering the corner side and viewing towards the surrounding views. Semi-open and open spaces ensures proper wind flow within the site. Understanding relation. How can a source of interaction be created for the users? It can be done by determining the source of interaction, separating formal and informal spaces, and providing a common connecting source, which is here a bridge. Understanding the relation between exterior spaces. These are the schematic sections to show different kind of space with respect to exterior environment. Planning. This shows the planning done to the activities mentioned. Design strategies. Heavy shading and ventilation strategies were inculcated in our design, such as butterfly roof, which was used across the site as a heavy shading device. Clerestory windows, as they allowed more light while reducing the glare. Central courtyard was inspired by the Vadas of Aurangabad, which deals air and light, resulting great ventilation. Functional arrangement. The schematic model highlights the in-between transitional and gathering spaces throughout the site. Pedestrian and vehicular circulation have been shown through the site plan.
So this is a site plan which shows that there is a vehicular entry from the right side, which leads to this particular area uh, in which the landscape is designed in such a way which has some spaces such as this is a platform which live exhibitions can be held, and when we move forward there is a sculpture garden here and also a workshop area here which is a semi-open area. So this space will create a good transition of spaces, and when we enter from here there is this place is a pedestrian entry. So when a person comes here he can go to three places. So the first one is the cafe, the second one is the ticket counter, and the third one is the parking, or from here also we can go to the admin block directly. So when we go to the admin block there is the waiting area and all, and when we move forward there is a courtyard in between which will create a good transition between this admin block and the gallery that is prior to it. And after this gallery we move to the space which is another gallery, from which there is a ramp which is connecting to this viewpoint which lies at the highest point of the site, so that the people can enjoy the view of the context, the fort and all. Also there is a pathway from here which connects to this last gallery, and this cafe has sloped roof seating as well as seating under this roof. So these are some side sections in which we can see that as soon as we enter from here there is a parking which leads to this workshop area. This is a semi-open space, and when we go here this is the part of the second gallery and the AV room, and other transition of space between these two, where we have created a central plaza which will act as an interactive space. And when we move here, this is the last gallery, which leads to the viewpoint, which will give a good views of the context. In this section, we can see that when we enter here, we get straight to the ticket counter, and also the person can choose this path which will lead to this cafe, which will have seating on the top of it as well as beneath the roof. So this is the ground floor plan in which we can see that there is a pedestrian entry from this side where there is a ramp which leads to this particular porch, and as soon as we enter from the porch there is a waiting area which is in the form of a particular atrium, and here there are like various rooms, conference rooms and all, and this is the staircase which leads to the first floor of the admin area. Then we go down here, there is a ramp so that it becomes a barrier free design. These steps present here will act as an interactive space. The staircase here will act as a element of interaction which will help in engagement. So this is the courtyard which is present between these two spaces. When we go here, this is the first gallery, and this is the second gallery which has vertical fins around it on the north side to get maximum ventilation. This is a bridge which will connect the two galleries. This is the cafe which has some slope seating on it, and this is the pantry part. This is the first floor plan in which we can see that this is the admin area. Admin area also has been provided with these semi-open areas which will act as balconies. This is the AV room, and this is the VR room, and this is the mezzanine floor in which there will be a shop. This will be the place where the bridge will be connected. So the first building section in which we can see the use of brick jolly pattern, and for the roof we have used zinc roof, so the details of it. This is another building section which shows the ramp view and the lowered window that we have used in this gallery. This is the isometric bridge view of this part, and this is the MDF jolly detail. This is another building section. This is the cafe section, which shows how we have developed our planning and as well as 3D modeling. This is the south elevation, which shows some of the materials that we have used. And this is the cafe view, which will which will have a green roof system. This is the north elevation, in which we can see the judicious use of fins, lures, and jalis, so that it acts as a design strategy. This is the west elevation, in which we can see the view of ticket counter, and these are the tilted columns in which we can see the children playing and hovering around, in which the tilted columns have are of wood. This is the east elevation, which shows the courtyard, which is connecting these two spaces, which will act as a good space of interaction. For this particular display, we have used lattice jali panel, and the roof will be sloping roof. This is another view of ticket counter. Um, this is the view of gallery one. So in this we can see how the ramps are provided to aid the disabled and allow a barrier-free design. And this particular area will lead to the open area for performing other activities. This is the staircase which will lead to the AV room. These are the wavy shelf with punctured display of coins. And this is the exploded view, in which we can see how the brick jali arrangement is used. This is the second gallery and VR room, in which we can see in this particular section, in which we can see that there are some wavy walls created to create some good illusions, and also which will act as seating for the low levels. This is the exploded view of third gallery and the souvenir shop. So in this we can see that there is a particular ramp which displays the weapons of war. It will be displayed in a particular sequence. And when we go here, this is the circular ramp which will lead to this mezzanine floor. And this area that we can see this puncture, so the bridge will be connected to this part, which from where we can see this place which will have the main highlighted model of our site. And when we move here, this is the souvenir shop. These are some views of it, and this is a particular section which explains how the ramp works. This is a detailed view of gallery 3, in which we can see that how this circular ramp is working, and also how the bridge is provided for the access to the gallery and the souvenir shop. And this is a ramp which will display these weapons of war, and this is the shop. So this is the sculpture garden and workshop area. In the exploded view, we can see how the columns and jalis are used, and also these spaces are provided for the users to develop some skills and to learn something new, and to enjoy their time here. And here we can also see that jali walls are used for passage of light and air. For the landscape design, this is the first part, that is the central plaza, which will come in the between of the site. This is a view of the courtyard, which joins the admin block and the galleries. So we can see that there is a courtyard provided here with swing seating, and these are the steps which will act as an element of interaction here. Sculpture garden. This is another element in our landscape design, which will be a semi-open space which will provide a maximum ventilation, and people will get to learn more information about the sculptures and all. And this sculpture garden will directly lead to the semi-open workshop area. This is the bridge view which connects the two galleries. Uh, in this we can see how in the admin block there is a balcony provided here, so that the person walking inside this area does not get bored of sitting on one place and can come out and enjoy the view outside. And these are some fenestrations for light penetrations. Yeah, these are the 3D views in which we can see how we have used the roof. Thank you.
Wow, it was great. I hope everyone did love that. Thank you, Swati and Anirudh. Does anyone have any doubts? Okay, great. So with this, we come to the end of the event. Thank you, Dr. Sudhya ma'am and the faculty of PICA for your time and contribution. Thank you to all the students on the council body. This event sure helped us all to learn many things on presentation and design. Thank you all for providing and being a part of such a platform. I'm happy to announce that together we made this event successful. Does any faculty or Sudhya ma'am have any doubts, or do they want to ask anything? Okay, great. So we appreciate all of your efforts and expect the same enthusiasm and participation for our upcoming events. The next event is the a debate competition on online versus offline classes, a great topic to discuss and debate about. I hope we see the same participation tomorrow as well. Bye and have a great day.